Hello and a warm welcome back as we head into our HGC SEA Grand Finals, Babel.
Yes.
This is for a shot at Blizzcon.
The odds cannot get any higher than this, and both of these teams, they really want it. So they have been playing off against each other in every single Grand Final since the start of 2017, and I'm glad that at the end of 2017, it's still going to be these two teams. Deadlykittens up against Resurgence.
It's funny because whenever Deadlykittens is like, look, we're going to make some changes, Resurgence is like, thanks, we're going to take advantage of that. They find themselves as the number 1 seed here.
Yes.
They won the upper bracket finals against Deadlykittens yesterday. The rules here in SEA, however, do state, as we could take a look at the bracket, see how we got here, but the way that it plays out here is that the lower bracket, the winner comes in. If they win the grand finals, there would be a rubber match to have the playoff. It's the advantage of winning in that upper bracket, as we can see Resurgence name all the way across the top here, coming as the number 1 seed. 2-0'd Deadlykittens yesterday, Babel.
Yeah, that's right. And the reasoning for that is that if Resurgence, even if they lose the first set, they technically have not lost a set beforehand. Therefore, they are entitled to a reset. We call it a rubber set. We call it a reset of the entire bracket. But whatever you call it, I sure hope we get some good games. And this is just hype. The biggest tournament in the entire year. The biggest qualifier for the entire year. And Resurgence up against Deadlykittens. The first time they met was in Instant Clash Qualifier 1. It was a different Deadlykittens. It was Mer, Zace, along with Pizza Cell, along with, I think, probably Fiery was in the mix as well. Some retired players there. And Resurgence got it. They went through the rubber set, though, but they got it.
That was a crazy back and forth. I remember
we were
casting
in the
with
Philippines,
you.
yeah.
In the Philippines,
Oh,
that's
man.
correct.
Ended at 11 p.m. The match started at like, what, 7, 8?
It was a long night.
3
I know
hours.
that much.
3 hours. It was insane. And then, second one in the mid-season brawl, we also went to the rubber set. That's because Resurgence came from the lower bracket. Deadlykittens was on top. Resurgence won the first set. The second set, it was a 2-0. Thank you. But regardless, it was a great series. Thereafter, the third one in Instant Clash, Deadlykittens kind of, clean it up 2-0.
That was a dominant Deadlykittens.
That was a
tournament,
dominant
to say
one,
the
exactly. That variation of Deadlykittens had Mer, Zace stronger, NSJ, and ever. And what is happening here is that Mer and Zace, they have left for the Taiwanese region. We wish them all the best. They're going to be playing next weekend, I do believe. You can catch that on another stream. But replacing them are 2 Koreans, Confidence and Jinwoo. And despite a very disappointing first day performance today, I just saw them fired up.
That's what we saw in the early part of yesterday, and then when the pressure was on in the upper bracket finals yesterday, they stumbled a bit. They took some risk that I think their composition wasn't ready for, and that the enemy team had drafted well for on the side of Resurgence. That's why I think today maybe we'll see a little bit different approach from Deadlykittens towards their draft and towards what Resurgence brings to the table. And Resurgence obviously been waiting, watching throughout the day, trying to see what their competition is going to be like. They get Deadlykittens here. I think that Resurgence more than up to the task. But as you said, Deadlykittens looks a lot better in that last series.
They do.
We're going to see if they can pull off the same magic against Resurgence here momentarily.
They had 24 hours to prepare, and I am looking forward to what they do provide here in the next set. Of course, the lineup for Resurgence has also changed ever since the last qualifier. Pizza Xiao Meltis has left the team, and joining them is Meow Pork and Zez N, 2 of the frontrunners in a previously third-place team, combining forces with Resurgence, making a statement that they are ready to not get third place anymore.
Meow Pork, not just a team name anymore.
Yeah, it's a player.
Player being the team name. Always fun talking about Meow Pork, playing for Meow Pork. But Meow Pork now with Resurgence makes it a lot easier for me coming over here to SEA. As again, I got to figure out who picked this. I want to find out who picked this. But I got a feeling it was probably Deadlykittens because Babel snuck a peek, got Dragonshire as our first battleground of this series.
Definitely. And I do believe that Resurgence went with the first pick approach. So we have Dragonshire. It's a tried and tested battleground. In fact, yesterday we saw in a 2-0 match between Resurgence and Deadlykittens that Resurgence had a very dominating performance in Dragonshire. So they are probably, this is the variation of Resurgence that would be most prepared to fight off against Deadlykittens. This is also the variation of Resurgence that I think for the first time ever took Dragonshire home with them. And I'm excited because there's just so much on the line. All of these players, they're all good players. Regardless of who wins, I hope that our representative in Southeast Asia does well on the biggest stage. That's BlizzCon.
They'll have all the time in the world to prepare. Speaking of time, we are out of time, Babel, because it is time now to start the grand finals as we get the draft underway here, game number 1 on Dragonshire.
Dragonshire, man. Brings back memories. I remember when I started casting in 2015, Dragonshire was the default map. It was a very, very tight map pool. Instant Genji ban.
I remember watching
Deadlykittens Genji.
Was it DK? On DK, it was when you and Gilly, BlizzCon a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching that. Deadlykittens gave up Oriel first pick to Resurgence yesterday, not making that mistake today.
Tassadar, instant pick, snap locking that from RSG. And for Deadlykittens, they've got a couple of options. We've seen that very standard gray main Tyrael pickup in the last game. So I'm looking forward to see what the draft is going to be here. They will want that gray main and Tyrael again. They had some substantial success against PlayStorm in the last series, hoping to replicate that right here.
The scary thing about this is yesterday we saw Resurgence just break from the norm. We've seen them run it multiple times, and we've seen the Tassadar come out. Not afraid to fall back into that Zul'jin. And we talk about Zul'jin, you don't have that hard CC with Tyrael Greymane. You do have the dive potential and the kill potential, but Taz Dingo could come in and change all that. So you got to be a little bit more judicious with your sanctification on when do you use that if Resurgence opts to go into that Zul'jin.
Got to be very careful. RSG plays Zul'jin, but we've also seen Zul'jin not work out earlier on today when it was under another team. I think it was Pagey and the gang? No, it was PlayStorm.
Dracon.
Oh, Dracon.
Against Pagey and the gang.
Dracon and
That is
Pagey and the gang. Yeah, right. They picked up the Zul'jin, but that did not work out here. So 2 more picks for Resurgence. I'm thinking it's likely going to be the Uther. That we have double support already locked in. And Zul'jin, they don't want to risk it. Straight away, first pick material. There we go.
There you go. You got the Divine Shield to follow up that big Taz Dingo damage that you will likely get out of that. You also deny it from the Tyrael Greymane composition that would like to go in. Now, I wonder, Deadlykittens, because we've seen them run that double support last game when they ran the Brightwing, they've been flexing confidence over. Yesterday, he played the Gul'dan. They tried the split and conquer approach, and it worked once, but then it was quickly adapted to by Resurgence, who turned every single team fight after that in their favor. And I'd actually really like to see maybe the double assault of a Lunara coming in against this to get that slow death going, to go against Uther, go against Tassadar, but Resurgence will have the opportunity to ban it.
Yeah, I do believe that Lunara is going to get banned. ETC, all right. So they don't want any more crowd control coming from RSG. And for Resurgence, the secondary ban here, highly likely going to be the Lunara, but if it's not, some of the other options do include banning Rhaegar. We've only seen Jinwoo play Rhaegar the entire series. Oh, no, they don't want a Brightwing. Okay, that's fair. They don't want any more displacement.
I think that's something that they saw Deadlykittens pull off just less than 20 minutes ago. Not willing to give that up, taking the global there. But again, Deadlykittens likes to run a lot of double frontliner, and we've seen them play Dahaka. I'd love to see a Dahaka pick up, control that top lane. You know that you'll be able to win that, or they're opting to go into the Malthael route.
Very nice. I like Malthael a lot on the side of DK. I think that, well, they have got some really good players that can run Malthael. On the other side, we have to also think that the secondary pick here has to be the Rhaegar, because Jinwoo is just so consistent on this Rhaegar.
All Rhaegar all the time for Jinwoo here for Deadlykittens. Now Resurgence, they need a warrior on the front line. Arthas seems like a good pickup, gives that survivability, can sustain in these team fights, deal with Tyrael, deal with Greymane, and deal with the Malthael well. However, ETC banned out. You got to think maybe you need a stun or something for Malthael outside of the Uther. Maybe you need more. But Resurgence, they have to make their decision here.
Really, again, couple of options here. You may want to even consider Anubarak. Cocoon's going to be able to isolate Malthael pretty well. On the other flip side, though, they do need a strong warrior. Johanna will fit the bill here for Dragonshire, but not the best warrior.
How do you
in my
feel about
opinion.
Stitches here?
Stitches would be a good pick. The bigger problem here is that Stitches kind of works against the clock when he's fighting Malthil, because
That's
Malthil
true.
does percentage-based damage. So you're gonna have to play around that. Muradin.
I like the Muradin pickup. Safe, good stun ability to go onto the Malthil, and then the Thrall. We saw that earlier. Thrall's going to be that top laner that you'll need to be able to survive. He'll be going up against the Malthil. I know you're pretty high on that matchup there, Thrall versus Malthil.
Yeah.
Deadlykittens, though, they have their solo laner. Who's going to be the supplemental here to try and put the pressure onto Resurgence? Will we see the double support? Or will we see maybe a mage come out here for confidence? I feel like this is Confidence's pick here. See what they feel comfortable going with.
It's likely going to be a mage. Very likely going to be a mage. I think that probably a Chromie. Chromie is going to be able to buy a little bit of time here and there. More importantly, we've seen Confidence play a lot of heroes this weekend. And I can tell you that his Leeming is good. His Chromie, very good. So it's up to him to pick a hero that he is confident on.
See what you did there, Babel. See what you did there. I'm trying to look at other options that we've seen.
Illidan.
We've seen Vala
Yeah.
as another option.
Do they have the players for Vala? Medivh. What do you think of Medivh? Is this like a secret weapon that they brought out of nowhere? A Doombringer? We're gonna run Medivh.
I don't mind the Medivh. To be honest with you, the Medivh play here in SEA this weekend has been less than exemplary.
Exactly.
And that's not a knock on anybody. Again, it's a very practiced,
Do you know why?
because nobody plays it.
No, because Zaze
Zaze was
The
the one that played it
Medivh
for GK. That's right.
is gone.
But that's
He
the thing.
left us.
It's a team-oriented thing. And
Yeah, exactly.
you might have a good Medivh player. I've said this so many times. You might have a good Medivh player, and that's all and great. But your team has to play with Medivh. Your team has to be able to dive in, know when to make those plays. And that is a practice thing. And very rarely will you see teams comfortable enough to play the Medivh unless they are a long-standing team, which means that they've practiced
A lot.
numerous times.
Yeah.
And that's always, to me, the biggest factor when I see Medivh comps. He's still a great hero. Could be broken by a lot of means. I know Dreadnought thinks that this hero in the right hands is a broken hero.
Exactly.
We're going to find out if these are the right hands, as I believe it will be confidence on that hero.
I have a principle in important matches, and that is that you don't play fancy stuff. You play stuff that you're confident on. Here, Medivh is being played by confidence. We'll see how far or how high his confidence will be on this hero. But of course, no more puns. Let's go into game number 1 of our grand final series between Resurgence and Deadlykittens on the blue team. Your contenders, Resurgence, Zesn gonna be the top lane Thrall, Yu Yang on Muradin. We also got Zappy playing the Tassadar, Capricorn on Zul'jin, and Meow Park will be the Uther.
And on the right side in red, the challenger here is Deadlykittens, as Tyrael will be played by Stronger. NSJ on Greymane one more time. Confidence, as we said, will be on the Medivh. Jinwoo on Rhaegar, and Inavir going to be manning that top lane, trying to dive deep as we get to the late game. Will be played by Inavir.
Like you said very nicely in the last series, if there is a hero that NSJ is supremely well known for, it is his Greymane. And here we have, again, another huge test. By the way, Confidence just went beyond the border to scout beyond the wall. Hopefully he doesn't see any White Walkers there.
Don't go north of the wall there, buddy, but we see on the other side, Zul'jin will be the player we'll keep an eye on. That will be Capricorn. Big plays by him. Zappy, a little less on a little less aggressive hero this go around on Tassadar. If you've never seen Zappy play and you're just tuning in, Zappy loves to play heroes that can close the gap and really be a nuisance to the other team.
Capricorn going so far forward, playing very aggressively. NSJ in the mid lane. Meanwhile, top lane is going to be Thrall versus the Malthil. And okay, nice bottle there. Very nicely done. A lack of CC on the side of Resurgence so far in the early game, but I think it's going to be okay.
Okay, and we'll see the play from Confidence to try and hold that lane as Medivh, but I would like to actually see some early aggression potentially. It's really hard to dive against an Uther comp, against the Tassadar that has the dimensional shift, but if you're going to pull that off, the Tyrael Greymane obviously is one way to do that. You get the portal out from Confidence, so it's a low risk, high reward early game stance that you can try and make happen with this Medivh comp.
Capricorn holding firm grounds right there. Top lane, we see Thrall channeling it up, and the Shrine's going to turn blue in just a bit. Hold that thought. NRG taking a bit of a beating there. Gets a lot of heal from Jinwoo. Jinwoo's mana still relatively okay, and we see a pause from Yu Yang. Looks like RSG is having a bit of a trouble here. Hopefully they resolve it.
I think we're almost ready to go right back in. Took a sneak peek at the chat there. Had a little bit of a spike going on. He seems to be ready. We should be heading back into the game momentarily. He's got the ready up from each member, so we'll spare you from, well, I think,
From
3,
our
2,
ugly faces.
No 3 at the end of that. Feel a little bit disappointed, though, as we do head back into our game here. It's both teams fairly even in terms of experience. No team really making a statement just yet.
All right, so Malthael does successfully turn the Shrine back red, and on the bottom side, a lot of burst damage going through. But regardless, Jinwoo's mana is still relatively okay. As long as the support has good mana, they are negating a lot of the damage coming in through the use of Medivh. Some shields from Tassadar, and again, you see the shield coming out from Medivh. This is just shield game.
I look at this composition. I see Medivh. I see Greymane. We see the cocktail build from Greymane. You got to expect that this team definitely going to hit a big power spike. If you complete the Master's Touch, you get that. You get the Gilnean cocktails. We saw NSJ make a lot of plays, confirm a couple of kills in the last series there on Infernal Shrines with that Greymane build. So we'll see as this game goes on if that really helps out, as Deadlykittens trying to take some control here, as Inavir being aggressive in the top lane.
Yeah, still fairly even lane here, slightly won by Malthael. Capricorn bottom side taking a bit of damage coming in. Very nicely done. NSJ looking for the cocktail, but a stun coming from Meowpork. He is going to have a bit of an increased movement speed. Going to be all right. Yu Yang swings by the stun, connecting on the backside by NSJ. Is in a little bit of a bad spot. It will go down, and Yu Yang picks up the kill. Also going to see Jinwoo run back a little bit more. Towers are out of ammunition. Explains the reason why Resurgence is so aggressive there.
They tried to go for the kills, but if we were to exclude what's happening right now, and you were, say, J-How, I need you to pick an MVP that we've had through the first day and a half, especially day number 1, it would be Yu Yang. Some of the plays that he made yesterday were beyond what I've seen him make in the past. Phenomenal Tyrael play. Great frontliner here for Resurgence, coming in, helping for the support, confirming that kill, and putting the pressure onto Deadlykittens. Nice play.
Right, Capricorn, bottom side, to keep a bit of a damage. The portal coming in. Look at that distance on the portal. They just want to make sure that Greymane's fine. This is where you know that they are just playing it safe.
Playing it safe for sure, and I think that when you talk about the fact that you're playing in the grand finals, the pressure's got to be high. You don't want to make any mistakes. You don't want to have that slip up. So you're willing to commit to any play possible to not slip up. Sometimes you're going to have to risk things a little bit, try and stretch it, but for now, keep it safe. Keep it even. Find something later.
All right. A bit of a rotation away from the bottom side as Capricorn goes directly to the siege camp. And Zessen tries to channel this one up, but we do have Medivh coming in from the backside. Zessen, the 1v1. Narut coming in. The portal going through. Zessen dropping. And Enever going to be able to run back out. We also saw a bit of rotation from Yu Yang off the mid lane. Deadlykittens evens up the scoreboard 1-1.
Sometimes you got to return the favor. Deadlykittens taking control of that top lane. Nobody yet has gone up there to get any of that soak back. Instead, they're going to turn their attention here to the bottom lane as they've taken out the entire wall. Siege Giant's going to face off. In the meantime, the minimap, we can see Malthael up there all alone until Thrall gets back. Put the portal in, looking for a fight.
Capricorn gets some shield going, and he's going to try and pick a fight here. Some extra armor going in, but there goes Zoljin. Without that Stingo, nothing much can do. Here comes Yu Yang, some stuns landing as well. Meowpork having to pull back out, and Deadlykittens, they got themselves a bit of an EXP lead.
Got themselves a little bit of lead indeed, as they're going to also have both shrines channeled. Murden, as we can see on the minimap, holding in the middle, should be able to contest this. Jinwoo going to do his best. Yu Yang
lends the stun.
Manages to get that stun.
All right, he's not going to be able to do anything now. Going to pull back out. And as you can see, the Dragon Knight going towards Deadlykittens. And already going to try and do a little bit of damage in the mid lane. Top lane still not much of a change there. Thrall going to stay up there. Yu Yang unable to defend the well as the well takes its fall.
The well takes the fall. The experience slightly in favor of Deadlykittens as the DK. Paying dividends again. Post Stukov patch. This Dragon Knight is so much more powerful. It used to be a complaint that early Dragon Knights didn't do any damage. We're talking about a 6-minute DK, and Stronger is just ripping through this, looking for the well, trying to get some control of this bottom lane, making sure there's nowhere to fall back and tap.
And Ever top lane getting stunned out. They forced out the Tormented Souls. Can they get the kill though as Yu Yang pulls back out, and Melthild's going to be okay. They finally hit level 10 now. Moment to fight for Resurgence should be soon.
All the heroics, pretty standard across the board. We will see the Earthquake coming out from Thralls. We see Zappy. NSJ is like, guys, I got this thing called Go for the Throw. Watch me do work here. Divine Shield and NSJ! Oh! The Ancestral lands just in time. I cannot believe that he just survived.
And here we have the rest of the members all coming in. Ever going up against Yu Yang, and Leyline is a whiff, but the bottle from the back though as Zessen gonna be relatively okay. They took the trade, 2-for-1 exchange, or 2-for-0 exchange.
That was unreal what we saw there. That Ancestral as the axe hurled his way. He's like, I'm good. No sweat. No sweat at all as we're going to take a look at the replay here.
Zappy with the Dimension Shift being used very early on, having to pull back out. Go for the throat already going in, and the Tastingo being used. Sanctification already being used as well. If only he went for the one more right click earlier, Capricorn would have gotten the kill there, evening the trade 2-for-1. But here you see no further action as the rest of the members managed to come out relatively fine.
Yeah, update on the talents for you guys wondering. 25 stacks on Master's Touch, just 5 more upon till completion. 5 stacks on the Golden and Cocktail on the side of Resurgence. Several of the level 1s have been completed as Zul'jin still working till his, and Malthael obviously working on his level 4 to get that extra uptime on the Reaper's Mark.
Yu Yang going to be able to stay safe in the mid lane. Losing the well, both mid and bottom lanes definitely going to hurt Resurgence. Let's see how they do manage this situation here. Bottom side though, we see the frontline structures getting threatened by Siege Giants as the rest of Deadlykittens rotate down south.
They're rotating, slight experience advantage in favor of Deadlykittens. However, they have taken down the bottom fort, and they did take down that well. And we saw, the delayed approach that we saw from Resurgence kind of holding in that lane. They no longer have that well to tap, so we'll see if those fights break out in the bottom lane as we see Confidence and Innovator putting pressure in the top.
Capricorn, a little bit of a bad spot there. Some right clicks going out. Takes a bit of a slow from the fort. Will be okay. Double supports also in that area. They're trying to make sure that the flank is clear as they all pull back now. No fort though. Got to be very careful. Confidence comes in, and there we have the ley line on a single target. The Dimensional Shift going to make sure that Zappy stays all right as Yu Yang rotates away, and they will probably lose the bottom shrine.
Bottom shrine probably going to be captured, but Thrall all alone at the top. Going to hold on to that. Level 13 picked up by Deadlykittens. Let's see if they try and be aggressive, but level 13 very close for Resurgence. Again, the portals, having this bottom lane open, it makes it a lot easier. You also see a Zess, and the body block is there. Tormented Souls is out. Innovator surviving for the moment as the rest of the team coming up stronger, trying to use that Eldruin's Might to come up there. Tormented Souls is waited out. But the key thing about that bottom lane and things being open is that now you basically have 100% uptime as the portals from Medivh will now be almost there whenever you need them.
All right, bottom side though, Capricorn going to work against the fort as Stronger rotates down, and the rest of Deadlykittens coming in as well. Mailpog lands a stun, but got to be very careful. They're both very highly immobile as Capricorn in a bit of a bad spot, and nope, does not pop Tastingo, does not have Divine Shield, nothing of that sort. It's pretty easy kill there as Yu Yang tries to run back out.
Ooh. Nice use and good recognition by Zappy to make sure and use that Dimensional Shift. I believe he dodged that Cocktail Splash, denying that quest stack there. And again, Master's Touch has now been finished for Confidence. No longer worried about the reset on that, but Deadlykittens, Babel, up 5 kills to 1 here.
Zappy, a bit of a tricky spot. Yu Yang also already using the Thunderclap there and going to be able to pull back out. Meanwhile, top lane looks like Malthus is going to be able to channel up the top shrine as the mid shrine is contested heavily by both teams.
Contested heavily. It's being channeled for the moment. You can see on the minimap Malthus making his way down. Confidence hiding in the bush for the moment, but the Oracle is going to spot them out. Confidence with a little bit of vision of his own. NSJ trying to find himself a Tassadar. Not the prime target just yet.
All right, and the shrine gets denied. Yu Yang at the bottom side able to pick up the Moon Shrine, I believe, and looking for rotation back up. But Noel at the mid lane is really a bit of a problem here for Resurgence as they struggle to keep the HP up.
They do. And Yu Yang now looking to initiate the fight as we saw the Dwarf toss in, but we do have a quick pause. Zessen trying to figure out what's going on here. I think we had another spike here for one of the players. Trying to get that squared away. Obviously,
as we
going
go for a quick commercial break. Just kidding. But yeah, this is quite a close game. It's very, very different Deadlykittens from yesterday, of course. Not like they fell flat or anything like that, but I feel that the game sense for Dragonshire kind of changed up a little bit for the Deadlykittens that's playing in this game today.
See, a common denominator from the first series and now is to get NSJ onto those heroes like the Greymane. The Genji's being denied, and I'm already processing this as I'm watching this game unfold because it feels like Deadlykittens is in the lead despite the experience being very even.
Yes.
One team fight turns this around, so we might have one when we come back from this pause, but that's the whole thing is Deadlykittens feels like they're in control, but it's nowhere near over. But then I'm thinking already in my mind, like, man, NSJ is just destroying people right now. Will we see a first ban Greymane instead of Genji, or will we see kind of the priority on pick bans? Or map priority to try and get control of that Greymane. Things like that tend to develop during tournaments, and NSJ and team so far seem to be on point.
Definitely. First ban Greymane, maybe? I don't know. He's been a very consistent Greymane player. There is also the possibility that the only reason why he's being forced to play Greymane is because Genji has been taken out of the equation.
What a sad world
to
be forced onto the Greymane.
To be forced onto a hero that you're kind of good at, right? Yeah. But still, Dragonshire, this is a map that you don't want to let Genji through, so I perfectly understand that. We are having a bit of a pause here in case you guys are wondering. We're midway through game number 1 of the Grand Finals on the road to Blizzcon for Southeast Asia. And Resurgence called for the pause. It seems like they have got some connection issues, but we're going to have that resolved on the backside while we entertain you with our robotic dances.
That was pretty smooth for robotic. I mean, it was kind of like robotic with a little bit of wiggle.
Yeah. Good installation there. Good programming.
Totally not a robot.
But back to the game here. We could see that the effort here, both teams clearly understand the objective. The effort and the emphasis on the bottom side is clearly evident. Definitely huge favor for Deadlykittens for them to be able to take out the fort. It all started because of the first DK, like you said numerous times already this past weekend, that a little bit of a buff to the Dragonite kind of made sure that he's going to at least being able to take out 2 healing wells, and that's exactly what Deadlykittens did. Once the wells are down, your sustain is down. Mid-sized battleground, I don't like to call Dragonshire small, but I think this mid-sized battleground, the wells are kind of really important.
Yeah. That's the point that they were trying to make, is that they wanted to be a better macro team. They said that with their last iteration. They told us at the Eastern Clash number 2 when we were able to interview them before everything started. They wanted to be a better macro team. And sometimes you'll just take that Dragonite, you'll walk up, you'll simply smack on some towers. Yeah, that's cool. You get some experience. You take away the ammo. But more importantly than that ammo is going to be that well, as you just said. So good recognition there, and I believe we did get the thumbs up here, as I think we are ready to head back in and find out the conclusion here of game number 1.
All right, you hear the sound in the background. Here we go. As Yu Yang pulls back out, I believe Zappy pops the Archon and the Dimensional Shift, and we're still giving chase, and a ley line on 3 targets. Capricorn a little bit of a bad spot. Yu Yang still surviving pretty well. As Zappy is all of a sudden very low. NSJ using the portal to get back out will be fine. Portal gonna expire in just a bit. Anybody gonna walk through? Don't think so. As Resurgence stabilizes the health pool.
Yeah, I mean, you go Thunderburn at level 4, you go Healing Static at level 13. You're like, all right, that's cool. You're going to go ahead and Sanctification. You've got everybody clumped up in one area. He just presses W, heals for a huge chunk of his health. As we have another pause here as we try and get this squared away.
Yeah. It's the first game in the grand finals. Some connection issues going on there, some lag maybe, but regardless of what it is, I do hope that they manage to resolve a tournament of this size and with such a prize on the line. You definitely want to play your best.
Yeah, you don't want to have it taken from you. Obviously, there's always going to be, when we talk about online tournaments, there might be a few things that pop up, and you don't want to have that taken away from you due to that. You want to have the fairest game possible. I know both sides want that. It's the best of the best. Find out who gets there. I'm sure in the back of your mind, if you're on one side, you're like, oh, maybe it's okay if you don't reconnect. But both teams, for the integrity of the game, want to make sure that we get this squared away. Admins are going to be working on it behind the scenes as we get this squared away. Hopefully it'll be resolved soon. Because, again, we're right in the middle of game one, Babel, and it was the moment for the first pause that we had. I talked about it in the early part of the game. It's especially easier post-level 13 because you have the longer portal at level 1 and the cooldown reduction at 13, which is where you basically get the permanent uptime on the portal. It allows you to kind of go in, and if things don't work out, you have the Eldruins there. If not, you have the safety net of Sanctification if things go wrong. And one of the things that you talked about earlier and things that we've talked about is displacement tanks. We see on the other side, you go in through that portal. There's nobody moving you away. The only thing you can do is try and CC body block. There's nobody like an ATC to hit the face melt. There's no Garrosh to throw you away. There's no Stitches to hook you away or gorge away, depending on what you went with. So they can go in and be aggressive. And if things don't work out, they dip right back out, and there's no real threat. And we talked about CC and stuff. You got the Root from Thrall. You've got Murden with the stun. You got Uther with a stun. And we haven't quite seen that. It's kind of like, how do you play against Medivh? Surprise, we're here. You don't have that CC train. You obviously have had Rhaegar clutch on some cleanses so far, just dipping in and out, in and out. And I think right now Deadlykittens is making that work for them. I want to see Resurgence try and adapt towards that to try and deal with them coming in.
All right, back to the game. Like what Jiao mentioned, definitely Resurgence needs to find a little space in this game. They are not completely out for the count, but they are indeed half a level down as Deadlykittens apply a very dominant, strong early game, taking down the bottom forward and losing the healing well in the mid lane as well for Resurgence. Now, well, almost on full level if you look at that.
Almost a full level. 16, we talk about getting the slows. You have the totem from Rhaegar. You have the slow from Tyrael if he lands everything. So potentially going into Executioner, we saw Alpha Killer earlier by NSJ. And speaking of NSJ, he goes in, tries to get the interrupt, gets the clutch cleanse from Jinwoo one more time to go ahead and disengage out. Inavir, he's got to try and keep an eye on this. Gets the interrupt for now.
Jinwoo looking for the bite. Both of them does go in, but Zul'jin will go down as Meowpox is not able to pop the Divine Shield or anything like that. Yu Yang now pulling back out. Enever also jumping in. Resurgence unable to react.
Inavir is just, he dives right into the deep end. I'm going in with the sharks. I'll see you when I get through. And Deadlykittens, Zul'jin was exploded. No Divine Shield, no Taz Dingo, just eliminated off the battleground.
I think that Capricorn is to start to realize the amount of burst potential that Greymane has, and he needs to be able to pop Taz Dingo a little bit more, you could say, proactively.
It's better to be alive than dead, I can tell you that much, as 16 almost here for Resurgence. There's another Dragonite pushing down the middle. Look for Stronger as the gates go down, things like that, to make use of that holy ground. Look for him to put it between the well and the keep, or the tower and the keep, to try and isolate a hero. Look for him to move up and try and make that happen. He did go Herodric Reforging at 4, so if he hits a hero, it's on a shorter cooldown. Look for him to try and make that play here in just a minute.
All right, Yu Yang soaking up some damage. Going to get a heal from Meowpork as Capricorn goes to work on a Dragonite, and Enever will be respawning right now. The stun's going in, the roots, the lockdown, but the portal right there, and then we have the ley line connecting on almost everyone. Even the Sanctification being used, Meowpox trying to pull back out, and there goes Tesla already. Taz Dingo being used, and then we have the Ancestral coming through. Meowpox pulling back. Yu Yang still alive, but 5 members of Deadlykittens still going strong.
Oh, Yu Yang trapped in there, and he's trying to get out. NSJ trying to confirm the kill. He's unable to do so as Yu Yang hops on out of there, but the keep is down, and they've got their eyes on the prize as they've now engaged the core. It is 5 versus 3. Deadlykittens trying to end it right here, making use of the portals from Medivh. They're going to hop back and forth, play a little bit of seesaw. The shields are down, the core falling 70% and counting.
There we have. In just 50%, Melthil is gone. Tira's down as well. Melpork, NSJ, making sure this can work. Jinwoo, maybe. But then we have the stuns coming in, and Jinwoo may be able to do it, but no. 3% core for Resurgence. Deadlykittens definitely went all in there. Jinwoo hesitated at the last second, but that could have been game number 1.
Oh my, Babel, the shields from Tassadar coming in at the right moment. The takedown of Greymane, the protection there. So we're going to head directly into a replay. You know, the roots there from Thrall, trying to keep everybody in place. You know, Inavir eating those shots, and it's one of those things you got to play with the portals, but you can see as Yu Yang, again, the MVP, falling in that back line, trying to get the damage in, and NSJ doing everything he can to take the core down.
Confidence, unfortunately, landing the shield there, but will drop as they thought what looked like game.
Wow.
It looked like game to me as well, so no.
But 3%, I'd say. I mean, the thing is, you now run the threat of you lose one person, you lose 2 people, and this is a real thing, right? This is a real thing that if you can backdoor Sanctification, you walk up to the core. If you see the team trying to play around the shrines, trying to get out of position, trying to push, you just backdoor, you Sanctification onto the core, you've got Greymane, you use Ley Line, and game's over. So we might just see them try and push directly through the middle. They are walking through with no regard for Resurgence. They are walking to the core, and now they're finally met by Yu Yang and team. They're going in. NSJ and team, they're going for it. Tormented Souls is out. Sanctification about to go down. And there goes the core. Deadlykittens taking game number 1. They just walked right through the middle of the map. I'm sitting here thinking they might try and sneak in. They might try and make a play for it.
No sneaking right there. It wasn't sneaking. No sneaking. It was just directly one direction. Going straight to the core. Very nicely executed. The best part about that was that Resurgence knew something was going on. They were trying to react with the flank. But somehow 3 members got ley lined. Sanctification was there. There's nothing you can do. The only member that could probably stop that, I think, in time was Thrall. If he could go in and, pull off a good earthquake, maybe that's going to buy some time. But unfortunately, it wasn't in the right position.
Walked right through the middle of the map. Like, you know what? 3%'s nothing. We're doing this. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about 20. I don't care about anything. We got Sanctification. We've got Ley Line. We've got the protection going there. We've got an Ancestral. To hell with it. We're going for the core. We're taking game number 1. And Deadlykittens taking first game on their battleground, but they did so in impressive fashion.
Very nicely done. I think they controlled the pace of the entire game. Very nice in the bottom. Very nice in the mid. The first Dragonite kind of sealed the deal for Resurgence. Also, 2 key moments where Caprica was not able to pop his Tastingo, was unable to turn the fight around. You also have to worry about the fact that, we talked about how Capricorn played yesterday on the Zul'jin, where he had perpetually very good supports. Today, the support was there. However, there was better support on the side of Deadlykittens because we have Medivh Shield coming in. He's not able to do those traits as effectively, and he needs to consider the potential of proactive Tastingo in the event that one stun lands or something like that. If you think about it, they don't even have a stun there.
They just go for the throat. I could hear it in my headset. Go for the throat. NSJ recognizing the opportunity on when to go in, when to burst past that. But it's not, NSJ is making a lot of plays for this team. Make no mistake about it. But the way that this team works is they're operational. With the 3 members that they're familiar with, that's your melee assassin, your tank, and your damage dealer, all coordinated attacks to go in. And they are collapsing. There's teams that when you're familiar with each other, when you're used to it, your comms are a lot easier. You collapse instantly onto a hero. One of the best teams in the world, I'm not saying they're necessarily on this level, MVP Black. Their team, if you ever watch their games, they will full 5-man collapse like a pack of wolves onto their prey. Just instantly collapse, blow up one target, and then go from there. That's their play style. And it's something that we've seen from the Nubrak into the Genji yesterday, from the Tyrael, the Greymane. Obviously, we know that one, right? But they make these dive compositions work to single out a target and blow it up. That's the Deadlykittens that we know.
Very nice. I am impressed by Deadlykittens today. I think they have done a remarkable change over the last 24 hours. It's almost not recognizable.
They know what they want. I credit Jinwoo. Yeah, the clutch cleanse that he had there, the interrupt on the channel that NSJ kind of missed originally, getting in there, making the plays, getting the Ancestrals on time. He's making a lot of plays for his team, and I'm not saying he's perfect, but for a new member that they've brought in over the last few weeks to try and qualify for Blizzcon, there's a lot of expectations on the 2 Koreans they've brought in to replace a dominant team. And Murr and Zays have been around, and they're really, really good players. And you've got big shoes to fill, and I think they're doing okay right now.
Definitely. A lot better than what we saw from Deadlykittens yesterday here. We're still not done yet. There is 2 more games potentially left in the series, and if Deadlykittens wins this one, we are going for a rubber set.
We might have it.
Might have it.
Going to my favorite battleground next, by the way.
Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah. We're just seeing a lot of smaller battlegrounds being prioritized by both of these teams. Again, we don't know who picked this one. Oh, okay, now we do. Resurgence picked Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Deadlykittens versus MVP Black Eastern Clash number 2. The opening series of that tournament stands out very vivid in my mind, and that wasn't too long ago. So I'm just saying, they're no slouch on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
No slouch. Exactly. And I just feel like this is the moment where Stronger, NSJ, and Eniverse looking to prove. If you look at the history of Deadlykittens, the original Deadlykittens were Murr's Ace. Stronger, NSJ, and Eniver, they had their own team, which they called Conbox. They finished in 6th place, I think, in the first qualifier, first season. And here, a lot of people are talking and saying that without Murr's Ace, Stronger, NSJ, and Eniver, it may not mean anything. But these players, they've taken out your hot favorites. They've taken out PSG, Playstorm. They've taken out potentially also Detergent, if you think about it that way. And here, up against Resurgence. This is no credit to take away from these 3 players. You have to give them the due recognition that they are the backbone of this team.
I don't know sports references as much here, but I know there's a lot of NBA fans in Southeast Asia, especially when I'm in the Philippines. It's always on.
Yeah.
But it's like Kobe trying to win without Shaq, Lakers. Like, I don't know what sports you got here where there's that equation, but that's what it feels like. You got a point to prove, is that, look, you're great, we did well together, but we think that we can win without you. And that was the thing, is that their expectation. I mean, you've got to have that confidence, right?
Yes.
I mean, so that
they do have confidence.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you don't have confidence, you pick him up and he plays for you. That's one way to do it. But Resurgence, you gave up game 1 to Deadlykittens.
They did.
Their number 1 battleground that they love to play more than any other map. They'll always first pick Dragon Shire. I think they did yesterday, they did in their series earlier. It's what they do, okay? So you can wipe that away. It's no big deal to lose that first game. You're still the favorites. You're only down 1 game. You still have the rubber match to fall back on. That pressure's not there. The pressure is still on Deadlykittens. They can't afford to drop maps. Albeit you can if you're Resurgence. But there's the sound. I hear the spiders crawling as we head into game 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen.
All right, 0-1 in favor of Deadlykittens here in Tomb of the Spider Queen. You're absolutely right. The pressure's still on Deadlykittens, but you got to bet that they are walking out of the first game feeling on top of the world. Here we got Auriel getting banned out already. Not going to give that over to Resurgence again. And Genji being removed as usual. Both of this battleground does warrant very good Genji plays. Is there going to be a snap pick Greymane?
That's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Tyrael of all heroes. You could go into Tyrael here, worry about getting something on the back end, but I think prioritizing the Greymane for NSJ might be up there, but you'd be willingly, and I think comfortably at this point, giving up Tassadar. Tassadar, I think, on this battleground, it's one of his top 2 up there with Infernal Shrines because he can contribute to the wave clear. So they opt to take Tassadar for themselves.
All right, and for Resurgence now.
Tyrael Greymane.
Are we going to see a reverse draft happening?
It's possible. It is very much
I want to
possible.
see what happens if Deadlykittens doesn't have Jinwoo on Rhaegar.
That is a very good point. I've made that argument about certain supports in Korea, and I've researched them the few games that they play, it's not always that much. So take somebody off instead of prioritizing the NSJ, prioritizing Inavir or Stronger. Try and focus on the supports. Make them uncomfortable. See if you can. That's a really good point.
I think that his Rhaegar has evolved tremendously. Yesterday was a dog, today's a wolf, tomorrow's going to be a tiger. I don't know. Maybe not even in the same family tree anymore, but you're going to have to consider the Rhaegar.
You went to a cat.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
went from a dog to a cat. Anyways.
Tyrael.
Maybe they go Uther.
Oh, Brightwing.
Okay, that's not surprising. Yesterday, Deadlykittens versus Resurgence. This is the exact same draft from yesterday, Babel. Right here. Tyrael Brightwing, Genji Bands, first pick Tassadar. Yesterday, Deadlykittens tried to go Illidan on this map. I do not want to see an Illidan this go around. I'd be okay. A Greymane pairing with Tassadar, you don't see as much value from,
Yes.
but see what they feel comfortable with.
The extra shield from Tyrael means a lot to Greymane. Very squishy hero, huge dive potential, but you also need to be very careful in the event that there is a response. And here Brightwing provides the kind of, I would call it crowd control. But Emerald Wind, if you think about it, it pushes you back. It's about 3-second stun, and it's huge.
But even that, the polymorph onto a Greymane that goes in, you have 4 seconds before you can disengage. You see the Lunara pick up. I like that. NSJ's definitely played some good Lunara. I wonder if we'll see the Uther pick up. They go into the ETC. Now, yesterday, Uther was the second pickup for Resurgence after the second ban. See if they're willing to let that through, if Deadlykittens is willing to let that through.
And for Resurgence on the side, they did ban out Lunara in the second phase, and Deadlykittens obviously taking notes here, deciding to pick up Lunara in the first phase. That means that there's a couple of options once again open here for Resurgence to ban. They are actually opting to ban out the Uther instead of picking up themselves, which means that we may actually be looking at a Rhaegar snatch. Possible?
I think it's very much possible.
I would prefer to ban out Rhaegar, pick up Uther, but we'll have to see.
I'm trying to think of where we're going to see Inavir. Right? He plays a lot of melee.
Dahaka.
Dahaka comes to mind. Malthael, obviously, we've seen. Those are the top two.
I think Malthael is getting quite hotly contested by both of these teams. Not going to be surprised if it's banned out.
And I think about some of the other heroes, Leoric. I don't like Leoric into a Tyrael. You've got the Sanctification. You've got Brightwing for the disengage potential with Emerald Wind. So Tyrael doesn't really stand out to me. You can get value to the Entomb. It's not that high. Zul'jin being banned out on the side of Deadlykittens.
Resurgence now forced to evolve beyond the Zul'jin as he gets removed from the draft. Two heroes come to mind pretty instantaneously, in fact.
Greymane's still available.
Greymane, exactly. The other, I don't think they are going to contest Li Ming. Don't look possible, but Malthael is highly likely to happen here.
I don't see a world where you don't pick Greymane. We've seen Zappy on that, but we saw Zappy in the double support role, which is where kind of Brightwing falls in. He played Tassadar last game. But we saw Zappy play Greymane in a series yesterday, and it's something that I wouldn't mind seeing again. The obviously pairing with the Tyrael, pretty good.
Hopefully we could see that. I think he played Greymane against, was it Detergents?
Yeah. It was Detergents.
Malthael and Greymane.
Take everything for yourself.
Spot on. It's a bit of a problem here, though. If you're going for such a melee-centric lineup, I mean, I consider Brightwing melee. So if that's the case, you probably need to consider stronger backline damage without Zul'jin. What can Capricorn play? He's been known to play Vala, but Vala's it's unlikely to get picked up by Deadlykittens. They've already got Lunara. Do they go Rhaegar here? They should, right?
It feels like it's going to be Rhaegar, but I just
don't know what Enniver's
Rhaegar pre-cleanse onto a mosh pit. Again, I don't know where Jinwoo's comfort level is. The calls They're still working out the communication issues. Obviously, you've got 3 Filipinos. One of those is your tank player. The Korean player is your support player. So do you feel comfortable making that call? You know, they've talked about having communication issues in the past when they had Mur and Zayas. Despite everybody speaking English, there are certain things that are hard to bridge. They do end up going to the Leoric for Inavir. A bit surprising there, but Leoric obviously has value on this map.
And for Resurgence, the last pick to finish up the draft. Don't think it's going to be another melee, so he has to be a range damage dealer here.
I think they need another support. I don't really feel like a solo Brightwing into a Lunara Tassadar is enough.
Is it going to be Morales? Likely? Malfurion? Maybe?
Malthael loves to dive deep, and Brightwing's not going to follow him in. Even if you go Malfurion here to deal... The thing about Malfurion is that if you run an ETC into a power slide, you can get the roots down. ETC is in a compromised positioning. You go Strangling Vines at level 7, neutralizes a lot of the healing from the Ancestral. Things like that can be a power play against ETC. Controlling Shrines using a Loon's Grace, so you're in a protective position. Instead, I think that might be our Zappy hero. Saw him play Karazim as well before. It's like, look, enough of this Tassadar business. I need to get in.
I need to do some work.
Do what I do.
I need to do some work. Speechless. Speechless right here, because we are looking at potentially no burst damage on the side of Deadlykittens. Lunara has got a very high damage pool. You're looking at high consistent DPS, but if you think about burst, she doesn't come to mind. And on this side, you got Brightwing, the unfurling spray, or whatever you call it, a little mist that she throws out every 2 seconds. Heals up pretty well.
Pretty soothing.
A soothing mist. Yeah, that's right. And you also have got Karazim hitting a W. So I think this is pretty interesting. However, though, if you want double cleanse, Karazim's gonna have to wait to level 16.
No way. When I saw Zappy play, he's way of the 100 Fist all day, every day. He's in to do damage when he goes in. So I think that's probably what we're gonna see. On the other side, I want to see Leaping Strike Lunara, not Thornwood Vines.
Yes, that's going to really help the mobility issues Lunara has. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 in the grand finals between Resurgence and Deadlykittens. Now, down 1 game in the blue corner is Resurgence, as Capricorn will be your gray main. Yu Yang onto the T-Real, Zaz and playing as the Malthael, Meowpork as the Brightwing, and Zappy will be the Karazim.
And on the right side, in red, will be Deadlykittens as they are up 1-0, trying to send this to a rubber match. It will be Stronger on ETC, Confidence on Tassadar, NSJ on Lunara, Jinwoo on Rhaegar once more, and Inavir rounding it out on Leoric.
Resurgence has been banking on that Zul'jin this entire tournament to a certain extent. Of course, I'm just trying to give Capricorn unnecessary credit, but here he does not have that. So what does RSG intend to do?
Early delay of the minion wave, recognizing that they don't necessarily want to step out. Stronger on ETC doesn't necessarily walk out and control the same way that you would see potentially a Muradin, Arthas, things like that, or even a Johanna. Instead, opting for a safer role as they turn their attention to the bottom lane.
Top lane, Lyric's going to solo that one up. Interesting to see how we have got Malthael in the bottom instead of the top, as Drain Hope does not have its full value of Zappy's Karazim.
And the thing to think about this composition is that Deadlykittens is trying to dictate the rotations. And if you look on the side of Resurgence, their best wave clear is basically Tyrael and Greymane. And neither one of them stand out as that instant wave clear. So we saw the priority, Leoric. Maybe Deadlykittens changed their mind. They've sent Leoric to the bottom, but wave clear, not really that great, I think, on the side of Resurgence.
All right, and Capricorn is there. They do some damage against Aniver. He's going to be a Wraith walkout. We'll be fine, as the 4-man from Deadlykittens still decides to stick very tight.
We're staying close. See the cocktail going out. Eldruin's Might slowing down Stronger, but the clear, the Tassadar, the Rhaegar with the Lightning Shield, that's the kind of clear that will win the rotation in the lanes and allow them the opportunity to try and roll and get those picks with the ETC. That's going to be their only true stun. We'll see if we can combo that off anybody other than Tyrael.
And at the bottom side, definitely Zess ain't going to win this lane. Endeavor, his job is not to win a lane, but just to sit there and get as much of an EXP as possible while the 4-man tries to make magic happen here.
And that's pretty much what they're relying on. Stronger's positioning is very aggressive, and there's no real threat to anything that he can do. Greymane obviously is going to be your biggest damage dealer, but it's going to be very difficult to try and finish anybody off. Enevere, again, being assaulted there by Malthael. We'll see if they send some help his way. We've seen Zappy as well kind of linger in the bushes there on Kersey.
Yeah, he's just trying to sneak in a turn in as he gets in 2 gems. Means a lot to the team. And we also took a Yu Yang pulling back from the top side. They're just playing it safe. They know they don't win the early game, which is why playing safe is going to mean so much more to Resurgence than to Deadlykittens and Zappy. It's going to be all right.
Hitting that face melt, seeing if there's anybody in the vent there, unable to find anybody, but getting closer to a turn in. 40 gems on the side of Deadlykittens. Stronger trying to get a few turned in, as he does.
What you're going to see now is a heavy priority on the bottom lane because you've got a lot of gems on Leoric. And he's going to need to find the space for turn-in when possible. Meanwhile, top lane, Meowpoke just playing it safe. Zappy clearing up the mid lane. And we also have got a bit of a sneaky action down south.
A little bit of sneaky action as we see the siege camp being grabbed, and that's well-timed. It can give you control of the lane, force a response out of the team, else you're going to be willing to commit or give up a little bit of that structure value. It can also help if you were managing to get a turn-in. But I want to talk about Kerazim. We talked about the AoE damage between Tassadar and Lunar. We're seeing Spirit Ally, which is like a healing totem for Kerazim, where it will heal 2% of max life over time, but it can be taken down. But finding ways to try and deal with the AoE damage from Deadlykittens.
Exactly. We also have got 2 members of RSG in the bottom lane, pushing the lane there. Establishing dominant control while Deadlykittens has already rotated an extra member down there to help out Leoric. Still have got Stronger with 14 gems looking for the window there. They're just going for the stun. Meowpoke as he overextends just a little bit. A face melt not used there, and there we have it. He is likely to drop as Jinwoo bites behind the wall. But is there going to be enough to punish him? I don't think so.
Zappy's coming up, seeing if he's like, you know what, I'm going to find my way on out of here. Level 7 picked up by Deadlykittens. Stronger trying to get the turn in. Smite goes down by Yu Yang. We're going to see who's going to get the first turn, and is Enevere trying to get the turn in at the bottom?
One hit from Zappy.
That was close, though. That was close.
All right. Still 44 to 39. In a game like this where it's kind of even, every little bit of advantage does count as Stronger tries to buy more time, tests it up behind with Sonic Storm. Yu Yang again attempting a secondary turn in, but the Web Weavers will come out from the top side for Deadlykittens.
Lunar holding talent. The only other talent that you would consider on Tomb of the Spider Queen, Nature's Culling, nerfed long ago, used to be the go-to. Splintered Spear now the priority, but with all the AoE heals between Kerazim with the Spirit Ally, still go into Splintered Spear. I think that's a good call. But there was some contemplation there for just a moment. And speaking of just a moment, power slide onto Yu Yang. He's dipping on out.
Meanwhile, Resurgence now at a mid lane trying to clear up this particular lane here as the Web Weavers rack havoc onto the mid lane structures. And we still have got a solo bottom lane Malthael there trying to do as much damage as possible to the Web Weavers. Yu Yang playing very aggressively as the Web Weavers will take down nothing apart from 1 tower for the mid lane.
It's actually a pretty decent amount of experience we've seen from Deadlykittens so far as they've stretched this to almost a full level lead as Enevere trying to get on that backside. Capricorn, his life is being drained out of him. Tyrael, however, goes down on the backside. Enevere continues to put the pressure on. And look at all of those gems on the ground. That is a big loss there for Resurgence.
19 gems. I witnessed that firsthand. Hopefully I got a prize. Now Enevere trying to pull back out as Deadlykittens gets their level 10 from the top fort.
Not only do they have 10, Babel, but they have just enough gems for another turn-in.
Very, very precarious position for RSG
Boss
to be in.
turn-in?
Maybe they can threaten the boss here. Resurgence can only do one of 2 things. You cannot fight here. You probably want to turn in first. You are forced to apply a huge defense at the top lane if you don't do so. And Zess and He's going to be able to apply the turn-in. At least it's going to nullify the boss threat on top and apply some pressure in the mid and bottom.
If you're trying to do this. Now, that's actually a decent play by Resurgence because it kind of nullifies the boss push. It gives you some control of the map. It allows you to get to 10, and then to be able to contest the turn-in after and try and fight. But if you're trying to do that, one of the best ways to defend against that is to use Leoric as that beacon. Use him as that ward that kind of sits near the bottom turn-in to keep an eye on that because he's the easiest one to escape from that. So I'm a little bit surprised that they committed as heavily with the Leoric. I would have liked to seen him defend. Instead, they're just going to try and push past everything with a boss, but recognizing 10, almost here by Resurgence, they're going to go ahead and drop back.
All right, the boss probably going to drop as Yu Yang throws forward the Eldrin's Might. Ports in front to try and land some right click onto Confidence. Karazim in the mid lane got to be very careful here as he tries to pull back. Now the Web Weavers getting some value. What it did was it bought Resurgence enough time. Yes, they lost the tower on top, but it doesn't matter right now because they're finally level 10 and they can take a decent team fight.
Zappy not willing to commit to the 7-sided strike, opting for the palm. There's the power slide onto Zappy. He needs a jump target to cleanse the self. Palm is there. Now Zessen looking for a fight.
And Zessen going behind onto NSJ as Stronger still has got a Mosh up, dropping a lot of HP. Confidence with some slow on the Archon. Zessen going in once again. No more Tormented Soul as Yu Yang gives chase, but they achieve absolutely nothing.
It's a good disengage. Not a lot of heroics used on both teams. Palm, good use of Palm. Tormented Souls is out. We saw the Archon. That's pretty much it. And now we see Deadlykittens racing to get the turn in. Arcane Flare, a little bit short, checking the vent. Inavir trying to get the turn in.
And the Mosh connecting on the targets. There's Sanctification coming out. And then we have also got the Emerald Win. Endeavor there will go down. The Ancestral does not connect. As Capricorn goes to town against NSJ, he pulls back. Yu Yang gives chase. Don't have the holy ground at this moment here, but Stronger with the stun. And Zappy, he wishes he's got way off the 100 fist, but he doesn't.
Stronger. Nice peel there with the power slide. Leoric the only casualty in that fight. And that is Leoric. Trait value fully in hand. Guess who's already back on the battlefield?
Leoric back out, and Tomb down for 20 seconds. They can pick a fight here. They don't have the Mosh Pit, but they still have got Thornwood Vines. And top lane is naturally going to get pushed in for Web Weaver. Bottom side as well. Resurgence forced on the back foot once more.
And the pressure that they put on there is allowing that top lane to push in even further. And that allows them to push directly into the middle, try and get 13, force the issue, take the talent tier advantage, and go from there. Nice plays right now by Deadlykittens with this Web Weaver phase.
They're waiting for Tormented Soul. They're waiting for Emerald Win. And also we have got Malthael
Leo versus Malthael, bottom lane.
Bottom lane.
Bottom lane, Malthael very low, using whatever jukes he can to get out of there. Zenivir making good use of that big minion wave and the Web Weavers.
Zenivir does have key Tomb. He already used it. Doesn't get any value out of it. As the Web Weaver achieves tremendous success for Deadlykittens. They're looking at level 13, one talent up. Resurgence. They got to find their own magic.
They don't have to worry about a turn-in for a while. So Resurgence, they can get 13, continue to contest, get a little bit more value, fight on even talent tiers with your Web Weaver, but Deadlykittens being aggressive here, taking down the mid fort. Not the biggest loss on the side of Resurgence. Inavir going to scout out this camp here. He's going to go ahead and stand. I think we've got ourselves a fight here, Babel.
And Zessen with Tormented Soul going in. It banks some time there. We have also got the Sanctification, but the Mosh Pit does connect, and Zappy Malthael will go down instead. Capricorn pulling back behind. The Greymane is gone. Zappy still alive. The pump was already being used. They got the camp, but they lost 3 members.
All right, I didn't see if Brightwing was caught in the middle of that, but with that being the interrupt there, I was happy to see that Jinwoo, the minute the mosh pit, the dance party started, he's like, here's a pre-cleanse. We're going to keep you dancing for another second longer. Nicely done there. Again, that's the communication that I wanted to see. Regardless, I'd like to take another look at that if we can see if Brightwing was in there, because that is the one true interrupt that does exist. But I do like the communication and coordination, again, from Deadlykittens.
And 15 to 13 right here. Deadlykittens looking to reset the brackets as we see the Web Weaver descend from the red side once more. And they corner Zappy in the bottom lane. Zappy gonna be saved here by Meow Puck. That we have also got the Emerald Win. But it looks like they already invested 50 seconds cooldown left on the Emerald Wind to achieve nothing but a save on Zappy.
Starting to push in. Innovator scouting out, using that lingering apparition. Picked up at level 7. Go in, go out. See who's there. See if they want to put the pressure in the middle. They are going to try and clear up the mid lane. Get double the pressure here in mid and bot.
As Deadlykittens hits level 16, they do have the EXP lead right here. One Talon up as well. They will be looking at a keep now.
They definitely have a keep in their sights, and right now Resurgence doing everything that they can to hold on to it. They do have Sanctification down if they do want to pick a fight. Mosh Pit 10 seconds away. We're going to see what stronger team want to do. So we can see Zappy being very aggressive, but he's being assaulted in that back line. The keep still healthy for the moment, but it's going to fall real quick.
Tomb does not achieve anything. Malthil going in from behind. Stronger with the power slide. Malthil so deep behind, and the Mosh Pit will connect. Zappy still going in. Endeavor with the Ancestral connecting. Malthil still doing work on the backline against Jinwoo, and then we have the Emerald Wind, but Jinwoo dropping very low. And Resurgence, Capricorn goes for the throat. Picks up on target. Sanctification coming out. Endeavor also going to drop as they give chase to the remaining members of Deadlykittens. Stronger pulling back once more. Yu Yang in front. This is the moment Resurgence has been waiting for.
I want to take a look at that top keep, though, because the Web Weavers were doing quite a bit of work. It's out of ammo. We've got a big wave coming up, and Leoric, he's going to do everything he can to slow anybody that comes by. If not, he's also going to take a close look at it, see if he might be able to take that keep down. I think that should be okay, but we're going to take a look at this fight one more time. They dove right past. They had the tools to make it happen. They took it 16-14 as Zessen did work, and you can credit that touch of death that went in here in just a moment to neutralize that healing. Innovator, instead of getting that big ancestral, it was a lot smaller than they anticipated.
All right, we're back to real time, where the Web Weavers, as you can hear it, is coming out now. And yep, there we go. A little bit slow, but finally Web Weaver bottom lane looking to secure the fort. Should be a fort take right there. Mid lane, you see Lunar applying some form of defense. Resurgence needs that level 16. They finally get it. Looking for a second engagement. Zappy goes to the knock on the NSJ. The shield's coming out. Zappy taking a lot of damage. Looking to go down. And no Divine Palm there. Zappy overextending. All it took was just Ionic Storm and Lunara, and there goes the Karazim.
I don't know why he didn't palm himself. I mean, you have your priority target, which is yourself, and you knew lethal was coming. It's a short enough cooldown you can risk that. Instead, now the assault has been thwarted by Deadlykittens. They're going to be forced to fall back. Resurgence also has lost quite a few gems.
This is going to be
Deadlykittens, again, party bush that. Capricorn, he's going to throw over. Yu Yang's going to throw over. They've got Holy Ground now. Mosh Pit's available.
Oh, gonna make sure that Zessen stays alive. He still goes into Metasol already being used, and this is where they pull back out. It's a long cooldown, I'm telling you. Endeavor looking
He's got the Entomb. He's going to try and get the lockdown. Zessen is stuck in the Entomb. Endeavor putting the pressure on. As you can see, the rest of the members are being zoned out by Yu Yang on the backside. This time, the palm lands.
And a nice Holy Ground. Stronger with the power slide, not connecting to the backside. Zappy dropping relatively low as Meowpox pops the Emerald Wind, and you also see Ancestral connecting on the Confident. Stronger now trying to pull back with another power slide. Zappy dropping so low. Needs a pump but doesn't have it because he used it. And Deadlykittens still in the fight.
Deadlykittens still in the fight. And if you're wondering what in the world that mosh was, it was allowing the Ancestral to get out, allowing Confidence the room to get out, and allowing the escape for Rhaegar. Yes, it's a big cooldown, but it kept you in that fight, and you were able to turn it. Deadlykittens making all the small plays to take the advantage that they are given. This, again, is still risky to make this boss call. They are making it again. The value of this is not what you think it is. Yes, it can confirm the keep, but why not just walk up with the Thornwood Vines? But they've got Entomb, Babel.
And Zessen now without the pump to save him. Got to be very careful. Will go down as the kills reset for Resurgence. Yu Yang going in. Jinwoo dropping. The Ancestral coming out as Capricorn tears apart. The Rhaegar dropping a lot of HP himself. And Endeavor dropping very low, but will stay alive. Zappy now is back, and guess what? He's got level 16. He's got to give chase.
Another good Holy Ground there That is creating all kinds of havoc. NSJ way up the 100 fist. NSJ going down. Way too far forward. Zappy says, thank you very much. Goes in. Inavir under assault. The shield is there. I do not know what NSJ was thinking there.
Good save. Too much by the Tassadar, unfortunately. And here we have also got Resurgence knocking on a mid lane as Deadlykittens is unable to take the boss as it stands. Stronger pulling back. Zappy. Mid lane. Aggression going strong.
This went from Deadlykittens winning for the most part, good fight by Resurgence, to I don't know what's happening as these teams are fighting back and forth. The power slide over, and now Zappy barely dashing out.
Confidence dropped too low. So close to making a kill, but meanwhile, Leoric top keep will fall. Leoric, the big rat, Enever, 22 gems on him.
I was going to say, like, is the keep worth the 22 gems? The cocktail misses. Is he going to walk around?
No.
Nah.
Big win there.
I love it. I love it. It's a top lane. That's a win condition lane. Now you'll have catapults pushing the rest of the way. I go just rob the bank and walk right out.
Enever still 22 gems and Confidence taking a bit of a beating there. The shield does come out. It's going to be okay. Pops dimensional shift. As Resurgence now needs a level 20. One level down compared to Deadlykittens, not really soaking the bottom lane. You see Deadlykittens already hitting a level 20 now. With this web we return in, if successful, they should be able to buy themselves enough time. But there we have Stronger looking
Party
for the
time!
He gets it! Unfortunately, no sanctification. Divine Palm does connect on the Capricorn as Capricorn tries to turn on the Jinwoo. Goes in once more. No kill just yet. Jinwoo dropping solo. Finally got up, but at what cost? As 4 members of RSG does go down and Deadlykittens level 20 Storm Talons looking for victory.
They're going to go. Let's see if Confidence can find himself some things to auto-attack so that he can stay in that Archon form and siege on up. He's trying to get through, and this is 4 versus 1. You've got Inavir, you've got Stronger, you've got NSJ, and the Archon form still fully engaged as the shields are falling, the core going down, and there's going to be nothing that Yu Yang can do about it as he sits idly by. And Babel, Deadlykittens is taking the series, but we're not done yet.
We're not done. We are not done as the core drops, and we're going into the rubber set, Jay Howe. We cursed it.
SEA in a nutshell, this is now 3 times out of 4 this year.
So close.
Insane. I think we might even have a replay of that last fight. I mean, is this the ultimate dance hall? You get the Entomb down, you got the slide into it, and it's party time. And you can see the Unstoppable directly over it. The palm is there. And that's exactly what just level 20 hit. And they're like, let's go. Let's go.
They were able to take out the support, but just too much damage there from NSJ. Very nicely done by Deadlykittens. Of course, just 2 plays there. It was the Entomb, it was the Mosh Pit, and they call it. Just easy. Of course, you have to give full credits to Enever, who enabled that play. And at the same time, Resurgence was caught off, I think, completely off guard. You don't have Brightwing in the right spot. He doesn't have the Emerald Wind to use, I think, at a point. So Resurgence now has got a short 5-10 minutes break, as do we, because we also are humans and we need rest, and we'll be back.
Dude, no, I saw the robot dance, and previously you're not human. But Deadlykittens, Deadlykittens is looking like a new team today. They're playing to their strengths. Credit Resurgence, again, for staying in that game despite having that level 10 and the boss fights that we saw. The contention for the boss might be Deadlykittens' undoing. The amount of times they continue to try boss plays, that's what did them in at the end of yesterday. And they kept trying to force it. I think the fact that they pulled off of it, recognizing Holy Ground was there from Tyrael, they ended up getting another pick, and then they tried again, and the back and forth, and it just all blew up from there. But Deadlykittens forcing ourselves a rubber match.
You have to give them full credit. They reset the bracket effectively. Yesterday, Resurgence went 2-0. Today, Deadlykittens go 2-0. My money, I think, is going to be on Deadlykittens for now because they have got a momentum going for them. They definitely feel good. So far, Resurgence does not have the answer against this kind of a play. I wouldn't even call it a draft. It's a play. It's the way Deadlykittens are playing today. We could feel that they are working as a unit. Yesterday was like, we're trying our things, everyone's doing their own thing. But here, they're united. And on the flip side, I know Resurgence is a team that's has a slow start. We've seen them drop games last season. Just, first round dropping the lower bracket. They are a team that needs a little bit of warm-up. Maybe by now, they've already gotten the warm-up they need. If not, they better be, because this is an awakening call right to the face.
They've been waiting all day to play. So depending on if they had somebody to scrim against, to kind of warm up, try and get into the mindset, get into the mood. I mean, Deadlykittens had a series right before this. They were able to keep it going. The momentum from the first series carried over to the second. Will it be enough in the third? I think we're going to find out soon.
We will. So sit tight, stay tuned, as we'll be back with the rubber set in just a bit.